I just thought we got into trouble when we were slow. When our game slowed down, we couldn't keep anything alive and gave up some chances. I think for us we got to play fast. We got to play predictable. We got to play simple. When we got away from that, we got in trouble. When we did do that, we did some good things. So, yeah.
Connor McDavid just said something that changed everything inside the Oilers locker room. The most dangerous power play in the NHL is suddenly being stopped, and the reason is not what many expected. A new defensive plan is shutting down their biggest weapon, and even McDavid admitted it. But what he revealed next shows this problem may be far from over. Connor McDavid addressed a growing issue with the Edmonton Oilers power play after facing strong resistance from the Anaheim Ducks. The Oilers are known for having one of the most effective power plays in the NHL. Their system depends on fast puck movement, quick passes, and precise positioning. In recent games, that system did not produce the same results, and McDavid spoke directly about it. The Connor McDavid explained,
just not doing, not being clean enough doing that. That's an area we're obviously very good at. Not too concerned about it. But that being said, they threw some different things at us.
directly about
we'll
it.
Adjust.
The Connor McDavid explained that the Ducks made specific adjustments to limit their attack. He said, "They're doing a good job. They're taking away seams, taking away looks." This statement described how Anaheim focused on blocking passing lanes. These lanes are important for cross-ice passes between McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, which are key parts of Edmonton's power play setup. The Anaheim Ducks used a tight defensive structure during penalty kills. Their players stayed close together and reduced open space. This forced the Oilers to move the puck slower than usual. When the pace slowed down, Edmonton had fewer chances to create high-quality shots. The Ducks also applied pressure early, especially when the Oilers tried to enter the offensive zone. Zone entry is a critical part of a power play. Edmonton usually carries the puck into the zone with speed and control. In these games, Anaheim disrupted that entry. The Oilers often had to reset or dump the puck, which reduced their time to set up. Without a clean setup, their usual formation could not fully develop. The Edmonton Oilers rely heavily on spacing and quick decision-making. When those elements are limited, their system becomes less effective. McDavid recognized this and said, "We'll adjust." His statement confirmed that the team is planning changes to respond to the Ducks' strategy. Connor McDavid continued to explain what the Oilers need to change as the series progressed. His focus stayed on speed and decision-making. He said the team needs to be quicker and find different looks. These comments showed that the Oilers are not planning small changes. They are looking at adjusting how they move the puck and how they position players during the power play, and that shift is still in progress. The Ducks maintained the same defensive approach across multiple power play situations. Their penalty kill unit stayed compact and did not chase aggressively. Instead, they waited and reacted. This forced the Oilers to stay on the outside. Most of Edmonton's shots came from the perimeter, which reduced the chance of scoring. The lack of high-danger chances became clear during repeated attempts. The Oilers also tried moving McDavid into different spots on the ice. Instead of staying in his usual position, he rotated higher and sometimes moved closer to the boards. These adjustments were meant to open new passing lanes. However, Anaheim adapted quickly. Their defenders tracked movement closely and kept their structure intact, which limited the effect of these changes. Another factor was time. The Ducks reduced the time McDavid had with the puck. When he received the puck, pressure came quickly. This forced faster decisions and reduced control. The Oilers rely on precise timing for their plays. When that timing is disrupted, the system becomes harder to execute. This pattern repeated throughout the games. Stat data from these games showed a drop in power play efficiency for Edmonton. The team still created chances, but not at the same rate as before. Fewer clean passes led to fewer direct shots on goal. The difference in output became noticeable compared to their usual performance. This change added pressure on the team to respond quickly. McDavid's role as captain remained central during this period. He led communication on the ice and during stoppages. His public statements reflected what was happening internally. By saying, "We'll adjust," he confirmed that the team was working on solutions. However, results had not yet matched those plans, and that gap remained visible. The Ducks' strategy showed a clear pattern that other teams could observe. By limiting passing lanes and reducing space, they disrupted one of the NHL's top power plays. This created a situation where Edmonton needed to prove it could adapt. The Oilers had to find new ways to create scoring chances under pressure, and that challenge continued to grow. As the games moved forward, the focus stayed on execution. The Oilers had the same core players and system, but the results changed because of defensive pressure. McDavid's statements confirmed awareness and intent to adjust. Still, the Ducks maintained control of the situation during key moments, and the outcome of these adjustments remained uncertain.
How do you feel your young goalie handled the occasion tonight?
Yeah, he was good. I mean, first period, he had a lot of action, you know. We knew that coming into the first period, they're going to come hard, and they did. And I thought he really stood his ground and held us in there. He had a good game, I thought, overall.
Something just happened to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and fans can't believe what they're watching. It feels like everything is falling apart right in front of us. Game after game, the same story, the same mistakes, the same disappointment. And now people are starting to ask, is this team already broken? Last night, the Toronto Maple Leafs lost again. This time, it was a 5-3 loss to the New York Islanders. On paper, it may look like a normal game. Two teams, some goals, a final score. But if you really watched it, you saw something much worse. You saw a team that looked lost. This is now 4 straight losses for the Maple Leafs. 4 games in a row where things just didn't work. And it's not just about losing. It's how they are losing. In this game, the Leafs actually scored 3 goals. That should be enough to stay competitive. But the defense, it broke down again. Players were out of position. The Islanders found open space too easily. And when the pressure came late in the game, the Leafs couldn't handle it. That's the scary part. Because this isn't new. This has been happening again and again and again. And fans are starting to notice. You can feel the frustration growing. People are saying things like, this is embarrassing. Same team every year. Nothing ever changes. And honestly, they might be right. Let's talk about what really went wrong. First, the defense. The Leafs just couldn't protect their zone. Simple plays turn into big mistakes. Loose coverage, missed assignments. And the Islanders took full advantage. Then there's the goalie situation. A rookie goalie stepped in and faced around 39 shots. Think about that. That's a lot of pressure for someone in their first big moment. And while the goalie tried his best, the team in front of him didn't help enough. Too many chances. Too many breakdowns. Things look good for a while. Fans get excited. Hope starts to grow. And then it all falls apart. Late in the season, under pressure, when it matters most. And now, once again, the Maple Leafs are out of the playoff picture. Just like that. All that talent, all those expectations, gone. And fans are tired. You can see it online. You can hear it in conversations. People aren't just upset anymore. They're done. They don't want excuses. They don't want promises. They want change. Real change. Some are blaming the players. Some are blaming the system. Others are asking questions about coaching. Is the system too weak? Are the adjustments too slow? Is the team mentally strong enough? Because right now, it doesn't look like it. And that might be the biggest issue of all. This doesn't look like a team that just had a bad night. This looks like a team that doesn't believe anymore. The energy isn't there. The confidence isn't there. The fight just isn't there. And when that happens, it's very hard to fix. So now the big question becomes, what happens next? Do they keep going the same way? Do they trust the same core players? Or do they finally make a big change? Because something has to change. It has to. You can't keep repeating the same story every year. You can't keep asking fans to believe when the ending never changes. Right now, the Toronto Maple Leafs are not just losing games. They are losing trust. And that is much harder to get back. Because wins can come and go. But once fans feel like nothing will ever change, that's when things get really dangerous. So maybe this isn't just another losing streak. Maybe this is something bigger. Maybe this is the moment where everyone finally realizes this team isn't just struggling, it's stuck. And unless something changes soon, this story is going to repeat all over again. And the scariest part? Deep down, fans feel like they've already seen how this ends.
Sorry to push you a little bit, but it's Leon Draisaitl. Tried to come back. Is there any chance that this is longer term based on what early looks there are? Or do you think it's...
Well, he got checked out. Didn't feel right. He went off. He got checked out. Felt like he could play on it. The medical staff looked at him, and they were comfortable with him trying it out. And he went out, and he just didn't feel quite right. So the fact that the medical staff said, it doesn't seem too bad, no immediate red flags, tells me that it shouldn't be a really long injury. There might be some time off, but we'll find out later.
Right before the playoffs, a new update came out of Edmonton. It was short, it gave no clear timeline. Leon Draisaitl was still not fully ready. The team confirmed he remains day-to-day. Practice reports showed limited activity. The Oilers were already adjusting lines, and this update arrived at the most critical point of the season. Now the focus shifts to availability. Leon Draisaitl has not returned to full contact practice. Reports confirmed he has been taking part in limited drills only. That detail is important. Full contact participation is usually required before game return, but that step has not been reached, and that kept his status unclear. The team addressed the situation through head coach Chris Knoblauch. He stated, "We're taking it day by day." That statement has remained consistent across updates. It confirmed no fixed return date. It also confirmed that the medical staff is still evaluating progress, and that left the timeline open. Draisaitl's absence changes measurable team output. He recorded 106 points in the 2022-23 NHL season. He scored 52 goals that year. He has remained among the league's top scorers for multiple seasons. His role includes top-line minutes and first power play deployment. Removing that production creates a direct statistical gap. Now, attention moves to system impact. The Edmonton Oilers rely heavily on their power play. In the 2022-23 season, the team had a power play percentage above 30%, one of the highest in NHL history. Draisaitl plays a key role in that unit. Without him, puck movement patterns change, and that altered structure became visible in recent games. Connor McDavid continues to lead the lineup. Connor McDavid recorded 153 points in the 2022-23 season. He remains active and continues to take full shifts. However, opposing teams have adjusted coverage. Defensive focus increases when one key player is unavailable, and that shifted game pressure. The Oilers have already modified line combinations. Players have moved into higher roles. Ice time distribution has changed. Secondary forwards are receiving more minutes. These changes are recorded in recent game sheets, but the scoring spread has not matched previous outputs, and that created a visible difference. Medical details remain limited. Reports describe the issue as a lower body injury. No further specifics were released. This approach is standard in the NHL. Teams often restrict injury details. It prevents strategic exposure to opponents, but it also leaves gaps in public information, and that increased uncertainty. Defensive pressure has also increased. When offensive control drops, teams spend more time defending. The Oilers have faced higher shot volumes in some recent games. Goaltenders have taken on more responsibility. This pattern aligns with reduced offensive possession, and that changed game flow. Opponents are adjusting strategies. Scouting reports now reflect Draisaitl's absence. Defensive units focus more heavily on McDavid. Passing lanes are blocked differently. Power play defense shifts as well. These adjustments are part of playoff preparation, and that influenced upcoming matchups. Now attention returns to official updates. The team has not issued a return date. Daily evaluations continue. Each practice brings a new status check, but no final clearance has been given. That ongoing review keeps the situation open, and that's sustained uncertainty. League rules allow flexible injury management. Teams can delay returns without penalty. But game readiness requires timing. Players need full speed reps before playoff intensity. Missing that window can affect performance. This factor is considered in medical decisions, and that shaped planning. Draisaitl's playoff history is also documented. He has recorded high point totals in postseason play. In the 2022 playoffs, he scored 32 points in 16 games. That production places him among top performers in that run. His absence removes a proven contributor, and that changed projections. Team meetings have addressed these changes. Coaching staff have outlined role adjustments. Players have been briefed on new assignments. Special teams units have been restructured. These sessions are part of preparation. They reflect adaptation to current conditions, and that continued internally. The Oilers remain in competitive form. Their record has secured a playoff spot, but final standings still influence matchups. Performance in remaining games affects seeding. That creates added pressure to maintain results, and this must be done while managing player health and that complicated strategy. Training intensity has increased. Practices now focus on playoff systems. Defensive coverage is emphasized. Offensive setups are refined. Without full roster participation, these sessions require adjustment. That affects timing and coordination, and that slowed progress. Reports continue to repeat the same update. Day-to-day status remains unchanged. Limited practice continues. No contact clearance has been confirmed. These details have stayed consistent across multiple sources. And with each passing day, the timeline becomes tighter.
We're back with Marty, and Marty, it's likely the Oilers will play Vegas, Anaheim, or Utah, who they're actually playing tonight, in the opening round of the playoffs. So which team do you think the Oilers should fear the most, and which should they hope to face?
Well, I think they should fear the most the Vegas Golden Knights. Look,
Connor McDavid just sent a message that is shaking the entire NHL, and it's aimed straight at the Golden Knights. As the playoff race tightens, every move, every shift, and every word is being watched closely. What he did on the ice, what followed after, is now driving a new narrative across the league, and the tension behind it is only getting stronger. Connor McDavid continues to lead the Edmonton Oilers during a critical point in the NHL season. In recent games, he recorded multiple assists and controlled offensive plays for long stretches. His puck movement and speed created repeated scoring chances. These performances came as the Western Conference standings remained tight, with playoff positions still shifting after each game. The Oilers have maintained one of the highest scoring rates in the league. Their offense is built around McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Both players are heavily involved in power play situations. McDavid's ice time has stayed above 22 minutes per game in recent matchups. This includes extended shifts during key moments, especially in close games where the outcome remains uncertain until late. After one of the recent games, McDavid addressed the pressure of the final stretch. He said, "Games are getting tighter and every mistake matters more." Now, this statement came as teams around Edmonton continued to push for playoff spots. The timing of this comment placed attention on how the Oilers are preparing for high-pressure matchups, especially against structured teams. The Vegas Golden Knights have shown a different approach. Their system focuses on defense and controlled transitions. They allow fewer high-danger scoring chances compared to many teams in the conference. Their defensive structure limits open ice, which directly affects fast players like McDavid. This approach has been consistent in both regular season and playoff games. The last playoff meeting between these teams remains a reference point. In 2023, Vegas eliminated Edmonton in 6 games. During that series, the Golden Knights reduced McDavid's space and forced plays along the boards. This strategy limited his ability to create speed through the neutral zone. That same system is now being discussed again as a possible factor in another matchup. Connor McDavid's recent performance data continues to shape this matchup discussion. He has recorded over 100 career playoff assists in fewer than 100 games. This places him among the fastest players in NHL history to reach that mark. His ability to create plays under pressure remains one of Edmonton's strongest assets, but past games against Vegas show how that impact can be reduced. Vegas uses a defensive system that limits speed through the neutral zone. Their players maintain tight gaps and force controlled entries. This reduces open space, which is where McDavid is most effective. Tracking data from previous matchups showed fewer high-speed rushes when facing Vegas compared to other teams. That pattern continues to be referenced in recent analysis.